Bob Maloney for my MMA News, and I am joined by John the Bearcat Brennan. John has an upcoming fight at Art of War 14. John, man, how you feeling? And it's got to be feeling good to be back in camp, get ready to go in there and have some fun.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling really good. It's the best I've felt in a long time. First time that I'm injury free in a couple years, so that feels good. Got 2 more weeks of hard training where I'm just planning to avoid some injuries and keep my weight where it's at. I'm the lightest and leanest that I've been in a long time. Going back to 45 as well. So this is probably the best camp that I've had so far. Feel the best that I've felt so far. Weight's on point, strength's on point. Feel good going into this one.
Well, like you said, it's been a long stretch. You had your pro debut. You came off on the losing side of the judges' scorecards, but it was an epic fight to me. It's a fight I'm going to remember for a long time. You and Will Dill both making your pro debut, and I was one of those fights that I thought could have went either way. I mean, it was a battle. Tell me what you remember about that fight, or what you think you learned from that fight.
First thing I learned from that fight is, Will Dill is a tough dude. He hits really hard. He stepped up on 10 days notice. Took a pro debut fight, a weight that neither of us had really ever fought at 160. Two guys that just wanted to get in there and fight. I went through a whole camp. Didn't want to put that whole camp in and then just have the fight fall apart. So props to Will for stepping up. Appreciated him for that. In the fight, I got walloped early. He was swinging for the fences, and I was just in there kind of playing the game, not really out there for blood. So when he cracked me early, my game plan changed throughout the entire fight. So that first round was kind of just getting through the round, getting to the stool, and recovering. And then in the second round, I came out, I performed like I wanted to, and had him on the ropes there for a little bit, had him against the cage, and just made some mistakes. Big. First pro fight, didn't use my elbows and my knees and utilize them against the cage like I should have. Might have shot a little too early. Some things that I went back and corrected right away. And then the third round, like you said, could have went either way. We both kind of let it all out there in the cage. So it was a fun fight. I learned a lot from it, specifically on the mental side of things. Usually when I'd go out to fights, I'd just plan on going out there and beating someone with my game plan and the skills that I've acquired over the training camps and whatnot. And Will kind of flipped my mind a little bit on that and kind of made me realize I have to have a little bit of a killer instinct when I go out there and be ready to rip somebody's head off, because that's how he came out when we had that fight. So I appreciate, if anything else, him kind of teaching me that lesson during that fight.
That's awesome, man. That's great. That's what you took from there. Will's actually going to be fighting on the following Art of War card, so I'm a fan of both of you guys. Let's talk about your camp now, John. Who's been your sparring partners? Who's kicking your ass, getting you ready for this fight?
So Christian Carr was supposed to. We wanted him to make his pro debut on this fight card for Art of War, and had some things go on with the commission where they wouldn't allow that. So he's going to be fighting an advanced AMI fight for the featherweight title. So we're walking around at the same weight, fighting on the same card, fighting at the same weight. So he's been my main training partner. We're getting in the gym, 2-3 times a day, always going drilling with each other, grappling hard, sparring hard. When we're here at Gracie 717. Then I got a litany of guys here who are stud grapplers right around my weight. So I've been doing a lot of grappling with everybody at our camp, from Jason Hagee, Benny Walnuts, Old Man Dan, Damien, Kyle, Chad. You name it. There's guys in here that are pushing me in grappling. And then Christian and I also have been traveling down to Bill Algio's Algio MMA. We've been training down there with Ryan Cafaro, Bill, Trent Stump, Ray's down there training with us. Zed was coming down every once in a while. So I'm getting a good mix of pretty high class pro fighters on this regional scene too, to get to that next step where I want to get to.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, obviously it's great that you're not afraid to put some mileage in and go and, like you said, learn and sponge off of as many good pros as you can. That's a wise move. You've always been a thinking man's fighter to me, John.
Yeah.
You've always been a student of the game, and it's never going to change. So, all right, well, listen, tell me about this fight. Bobby Malcolm, he hasn't won. You're both looking for your first pro win. Do you even care about his game plan or his history, or do you check into that?
So I watched one of his fights is on YouTube. He fought, I think his name's Paul Capaldo. He's out of a gym somewhere down in Philly. They fought on a CFFC card, and he came out. I think he came out orthodox first round, southpaw second round. Got put on his back in the first round and pretty much just defended, choke, ground and pound, whatnot. And then they exchanged some kicks, some strikes in the second round, and then he ended up getting knocked out with a high kick. So I know he got knocked out with that high kick in the first fight, and then I haven't watched his second fight yet. I need a Fight Pass login, so anybody got one of them, I'm looking for one, so I can log in and watch his second fight. But I know he got TKO'd in that second one as well. His game plan, it doesn't really affect me a whole lot the way that I'm going to fight. I need to get back to my roots. If you know the way that I fight, I kind of like to make it a dirty fight, make them defend, push the pace, put them on the cage, mix it up, high, low, shoot, and then drag them to the ground and pound, and finish the fight from there. Been working a lot on my stand-up. My stand-ups felt a lot crisper than it's ever felt. And I'm not saying that I shy away from the stand-up whatsoever, but I think everybody knows that, where I am comfortable and where I want to be is pushing you against the cage, working some trips, elbows, knees on the fence, and then getting the fight to the ground.
Beautiful. Listen, I can't wait to see you
So
do your
I know
thing.
that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know he looks, physically strong, so we're gonna, test his strength and his conditioning early on. That it's gonna be a pace that I push, from the start to the finish. I'm not gonna get tired, so we're just gonna go, and we'll see if he can hang.
Beautiful. Listen, John, before we go, I know you got some sponsors, and listen, sponsors, man, they make the world go round when it comes to MMA. Give out some shout outs to some love, some people who are hooking you up.
Yeah, man, for sure. I got Restore Cryotherapy and Wellness Center. I've been doing a lot of recovery there, feeling really good, taking care of myself. Also, Dr. Randy over at Renaissance Chiropractic. I know you know Randy. He's probably adjusted you once or twice backstage. He's been holding mitts for me and also making sure that I'm, in good alignment. And then also my buddy Eric. At Final Form Massage Therapy, he started his own business, getting massages from him. So I've really been taking care of my body throughout the fight. And then other side of things, I got the Parlor at Hillary's. They always sponsor me. Lankers Masonry, he's a new sponsor. A good friend of mine, started his own business, does beautiful work. Then we got Eric Forberger, best photographer in Central Pennsylvania. Rachel's Creperie, best crepes that you'll ever find outside of France. And maybe even if you go to France, it might be better than they are there. And then also my buddy Alex, who through probably the Philly Facebook Sixers fan pages, Alex Einhorn, he runs Philly Drinkers, and he designed and is putting my shirts out on his website today. So my new Bearcat shirts will be available. So Philly Drinkers, another sponsor of mine. And then just again, want to thank all my training partners at Gracie 717, Trap Cross Training down at Algeo MMA, and big shout out to also Josh Carr, who's been doing a lot for me to help me get ready by holding pads and whatnot. And my buddy Colin Federishka, who does all my strength and conditioning and all my nutrition, tells me when I have to stop eating pizza and when I can start eating it again. So that's a nice thing as well.
Beautiful. John, best of luck to you in your final preparations. Best skills to you in your fight. Can't wait to see you do your thing, my man. Talk to you
Awesome,
soon.
Bob. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you.